Do you ever look back and think that, oh my God, like, is this truly even now happening to me?
It's my parents and my friends who actually make me believe that I'm doing better than what could have happened. But otherwise, I always feel very underconfident about everything. I try to overcompensate that, nahi, nahi, yaar, kiya hai maine, kiya hai. And then that sounds arrogant and that sounds like me. When I was aspiring to be an actor, काम तो मिल नहीं रहा था मुझे. Acting में काम नहीं मिल रहा है, डांस ही कर लेता हूँ. I was just blown away with this guy. I was obsessed with Raghav. In fact, I won fresh face imitating his slow motion walk. I still watch WWE, by the way. And my favorite wrestler, RVD. So I've always learned people, love people who are very flexible. Then for this film, I tried Jujutsu. I went to Thailand.
Yeah.
There were people from all over the world, international, and I got choked out in like 10 seconds. Yeah, I was so excited at the start. I used to like, sir, I want to do kicks. But he did not even let me lift my leg.
From MC Sher to Yudhra, the boys had quite a journey. मुंबई का लड़का है और शायद इसीलिए हमारा दिल धड़कता है. Siddhant, how are you?
So sweet of you. I'm good. I'm blushing.
You're blushing. You should be. You should be. You know, I'm so curious to know what is it like for an actor who doesn't have anybody in the industry as family, etc., to wait for this long for such a passion project to come out. Was that wait hard for you? Because as a fan, it's been hard for us.
Well, I think I've waited all my life for everything I wanted. And I think patience is a key for anybody. No matter if you come from within or, you come from, you're an outsider. I think patience is something which everybody has to, have. They have to go through that waiting period before things are, they fall in place. So yeah, I mean, when I was doing my CA, I was waiting for me to like start auditioning. When I was auditioning, I was waiting for the first break. When I got my first break, I was waiting for films to be signed. And when that happened, I was waiting for like my solo action hero film to happen. And this is now, it's happening. And now this has happened. I'm waiting for the 20th of September. So the box office glory is what I think I miss in my hat. That's the feather which I want. So,
but Gully Boy was a box office glorious film. And it gave you an audience that you perhaps didn't even expect.
Yeah.
Is there more pressure because this is you headlining as Yudhra?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because there's always pressure, any film or any kind of work which I've done, even inside Edge, I was always very nervous before the release. I was always like, waiting for the world to watch it. Right now, I mean, obviously the pressure is a bit more because it's just me and it's on me. So it's that time to kind of, step up a little, I feel. So I'm a bit nervous, but I think we've made a good film. And it's for the audience now to decide.
I must ask you, as a thinking actor, जो मुझे लगता है कि तुम हो, क्योंकि हम तुम्हारे दूसरे साइड से भी वाकिफ हैं, जो कविताएं लिखता है, शेर या शायरी करता है. Is that side of you still alive?
Yeah, that's a side of me which is the most, I think, beautiful part of what I have, which is the ability to express through poetry. I don't mind being vulnerable. I don't believe in the idea of a man being, just very, whatever the idea of a man people have. I always feel there should be a little bit of vulnerability and a bit of softness to that, which actually makes you more human, I feel. Man or a woman, whatever, they both need to have both the qualities. I like women who are strong, I like men who are vulnerable, and the other way around as well. So, I mean, that's the balance which I am kind of hoping to achieve in life as a human, and not just be one-dimensionally, going about any gender. So,
it's a very interesting choice that it is an all-out action film. पिछले कुछ सालों में, the box office has seen a lot and not. फिल्में चली भी हैं तो धमाके से चली हैं या तो फिल्में आई ही नहीं हैं. It's been a weird time, and it's crazy that here you are trying to make sense of your own life in the middle of bigger things happening. However, with the choice of a quote unquote violent film, how do you see yourself in this universe? And more importantly, how do you say that this film is kind of okay at this time, because I see that there is a lot of violence in our movies. Sometimes it is unjustifiable. So does that matter to you as an actor?
For me, cinema, I never judge it by the lens of morality. For me, cinema is cinema, and there's always a section of people who always relate to it, and obviously there's a responsibility as well towards it. You can't. I don't support anything which just shows violence without any kind of cause or any kind of hurt. Coming back to this film, it's just not unnecessary violence for the effect, I feel. It's a story rooted about a boy who's an underdog and who has a lot of things to express, who feels a lot, who has some kind of a little yeda thing in him. But there is not even a single punch which is without reason, or a single action scene which doesn't have any just for the effect of blood and gore. Also, we have not gone fully like very violent because I mean it's a UA certificate film. It's, you can watch it with your family as well. Also, I feel the kind of violence. I know it's kind of trending right now. It's a lot of people are making violent films, but I assure you, this is a different kind of a film. It's the violence is not shown. You will feel within you. You would feel like there are certain films which are without a single punch. You can feel that angst, you can feel that anger.
In fact, आपने कहा भी था ट्रेलर लॉन्च में कि बच्चन साहब की फिल्मों में उतना वायलेंस ऑन स्क्रीन फिजिकली शायद ना हो, but you felt it.
You felt it. Yeah. So again, we've tried to attempt something which is not just for the effect, I would say. Farhan sir has written it, and Zoya and Farhan, they can never go wrong in things like when they are telling a story. It has to have a cause and effect. It is just not for the effect.
Thank you for taking the time to answer that. I'm very curious to know, in your journey right now, it's so interesting, right? There is a boy who we saw burst onto the scene. Inside Edge, that story is legend. Inside Edge ki party thi, Farhan, and Zoya were there. Zoya came and offered that to you. And at this point, do you ever look back and think that, oh my God, like is this truly even now happening to me, or have you accepted it कि यार अब मैं एक एक्टर हूँ, अब मैं शायद एक स्टार हूँ, वो क्या कैसे navigate कर रहे हो तुम इसको?
I don't know. There are days when I feel like I haven't done enough. And there are days when I feel like I haven't done enough. And it's my parents and my friends who actually make me believe that I'm doing better than what could have happened. But otherwise, I always feel very underconfident about everything. And I think in an attempt to overcompensate that, I try to I say a lot of things in interviews, or I try to overcompensate that. Nahi yaar, kiya maine kiya, and then that sounds arrogant and that sounds like me. But actually, I'm a very underconfident guy. I wake up every day and I feel like yaar, abhi tak I have not achieved what I want to achieve, or people haven't seen my true potential yet. So I keep trying every day to kind of evolve as an actor, and with my choices, I try to keep doing different things because I feel I can do more. I always feel I can do more. My parents are very happy. My friends are very happy. They're very proud of me. But yeah, I mean, that's not where it ends. It's not even the beginning, I feel, of me. So
that's true.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
The choice of films has been very interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't say all of them you chose. Most of them chose you, saying that हमको इसमें सिद्धांत चतुर्वेदी चाहिए. And now, do you think you're in that position जहाँ पर तुम choose कर रहे हो फिल्में?
See, it's almost like a relationship. You both have to choose each other, right? Like you can't just choose a film like I'm going to do this film, and no, they both have to fall. Like the script has to fall in love with you. You have to fall in love with the script and the director, and the producers need to have a lot of faith in you. And I've been lucky enough after Gully Boy, I've like had that, where whatever opportunities I got, I tried to maximize it. There were a lot of scripts which came my way, but again, I didn't feel that this is the right time to do it, or I didn't connect to it. So I always, my primary goal was to always choose films which make me evolve as an actor. And that includes a decision to be, working with the best production houses, the best co-stars, who are like superstars, but I always kept that I want to learn first. In the first 5 years, I just want to learn from the best people so that I can also kind of aspire to be there one day, rather than just doing films for the sake of doing it. It was almost like I've never been to a film school, right? This was my film school. Like, this is where I'm learning every day, learning from Ranveer, learning from Deepika, Alia, Rani Mukherjee, Saif Ali Khan, and they've been like the best in the game. Farhan sir, Zoya, Adi sir, Karan, everybody. And I learned a lot, and I feel like I'm still learning, but I think with this one, I think after this one's a true test of me. Let's see how much I've learned in the last 4-5 years, and hopefully this works magic.
In fact, one of my questions was going to be that tell us what you've really learned about being an actor in the film industry. Not the obvious, which is, हाँ भाई, acting के लिए तो acting सीखनी पड़ेगी. लेकिन acting, I also feel what actors go through is, this sort of uncertainty, this sort of anxiety, this sort of telling yourself that the game is not on Instagram, telling yourself that our worth is not headlines, it is not PR. What have you learned? Or what is the one thing you've kept as your learning? Or wo khoya nahi ab tak?
Will sound a little bookish, but just to have faith in yourself. And I'm saying that because every day when you're in the forefront, there are so many people who are trying to break you, who are trying to tell you you're not good enough, you're overrated, or you're underrated, or 100 noises around. And वो सबको हटा के एक्टिंग करनी है, उसमें 100% देना है.
बिल्कुल.
The commerce of it, basically, just because I came from a CA background, I understood the commerce, and that is why I never took that path, because I was so done with commerce that मुझे यहाँ पे वो नहीं लाना था. I just wanted to keep it true to the craft, wanted to learn more, but never got commerce in between, because that kind of, I think, pollutes you, I feel.
Yeah.
That kind of makes you make decisions which might not be, as an artist or as an actor. There are 100 things, and even after a film is out, the commerce around it, the PR around it, there are hundreds of things which you have to do. Acting is, I just feel, is just the 5% of your job. 95% is to just keep your head sane.
That's so true. Yeah. Absolutely.
Otherwise, people would say like 5% is acting, 95% is to maintain your stardom. I would say the other way around. I'd say that 5% is acting, 95% is to, just block yourself from all the noises and keep your head sane. In fact, it's not to maintain your stardom, it's to just maintain and retain who you were when you came into this industry. If you can retain that for the longest time, I think you'll go far. That's what I feel.
Thank you. Thank you for that, because that is truly something that I wanted to know, because it's so hard.
It is.
आजकल audience भी कह रही है एक दूसरे से कि 500 करोड़ बनाई एक फिल्म में. And then you're just like, इसीलिए आप फिल्म देखने जा रहे हो क्या? ऐसे तो हो नहीं सकता. आपको फिल्म देखनी है क्योंकि you want to be entertained. I do know that you spend a lot of time learning something new on this film.
Yeah.
And for this film, you've learned a deep dive into martial arts.
Yeah.
What was that like, and what has it taught you again? Because today seems like an interview of asking you, Baba, आपने क्या क्या सीखा है हमें बताएं.
नहीं कोई बाबा नहीं हूँ. I'm a
You're a baby.
No, I'm like the film industry wala baba.
Film industry ke baba. Siddhant Chaturvedi.
Not that baba, like baba.
Oh, baba.
Baba के लिए juice लाओ.
Completely. Baba के लिए juice चाहिए, please. Yeah.
What have I learned? Well, martial arts has always been a part of my growing up.
Black belt, brown belt.
Not black belt, but I think yellow belt तक गया हूँ मैं karate में.
Okay.
Yellow belt तक गया हूँ. Because I kept changing. So I learned karate for 2 years. Then I learned judo. Then I learned parkour. Then I learned gymnastics. Then I learned jujutsu. So I wanted to learn. So that's the thing, I myself as an actor, I like to dance, I like to write, I like to paint, I like to act. So I couldn't just keep one focus in any martial art form, but I really wanted to explore different ones. So I started off with karate when I was a kid. Then I shifted to judo. Then I I learned parkour for 3 to 4 years. And then I learned gymnastics. And this was when I did not have work. So, and that time, I felt like this is something which is going to be very new. I really loved watching Jackie Chan films and Bruce Lee films and Tony Jaa, Ong Bak, which is a Thai film. and a lot of Mission Impossibles and Matrix and all of that. So I really used to feel like I want to do that. And Akshay sir, obviously.
I was just going to say, मैं खिलाड़ी तो अनाड़ी.
Yeah, Akshay sir,
Of course.
International khiladi, and that
Do you remember the one with Undertaker?
Undertaker, yeah. I absolutely remember. I used to watch a lot of WWE also.
Of course.
And my favorite wrestler that time was, they've always been like super flyers. They've never been the heavy ones. They've never been the ones which are like big and all. I always loved Rey Mysterio. I loved RVD. And like RVD, that one. Yeah. And then he used to give that frog splash. So I've always learned love people who are very flexible. They had that mobility. So yeah, I mean, that's always been. I still watch WWE, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Did you ever collect those cards?
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
I've had cards. I have belts. I have my brother who I used to choke slam.
सारे छोटे भाई.
Yeah.
So sorry, my brother's watching this. I did that to him. Yeah.
Best utility.
Yeah.
So that was always, the action was always part of me. And so then for this film, I tried Jujutsu. I went to Thailand.
Thailand, yeah.
Yeah, I spent like a month there. I learned Jujutsu. Again, I mean, it's too short of a time to have a belt or anything, but I still got myself a red, dress. And to just feel the vibe of it.
Correct.
And yeah, there were people from all over the world, international, and I got choked out in like 10 seconds. Yeah, and I realized this is very, very like serious, and this is very, very tough. And I also look up to Tom Hardy, as an actor. So he also,
that's great. Yeah,
he also learns Jiu-Jitsu. In fact, he won recently in a official Jiu-Jitsu tournament. This is my dream to actually also do that.
Because they have a life outside of being an actor.
They do.
And that's so important.
That's very, very important. So, so I keep doing these things, and they all came in handy in this film. And I was so excited when my action director came, in Nick Powell. He's basically choreographed Tom Cruise in Last Samurai.
Correct. Wow.
So he's one of the most experienced action directors out there. So he flew in specially for this film. So I spent a good time with him, and I was so excited at the start. I used to like, sir, I want to do kicks. I can do, so because of Taekwondo, I used to, do like my kicks and 360 degree and 540 and all of that I used to do. So he actually stopped me to not do all of these things, because he's like, in a realistic film, you do not raise your leg, because it's very easy to kind of catch your leg and put you down. So he's like, just keep yourself grounded, and it's more of a hand-to-hand combat, and just use your kicks when you know that the opponent is weak that time. But here, what I've seen is just like, because of all these Chinese films which we had watched, there everybody's flying and just rotating. So I felt like that's the cool way to do it. But he did not even let me lift my leg at any time. But I did. I was like, sir, one for me, last one. I want to do this 360 degree round kick. And then it got cut out of the film.
What? Oh my God.
Yeah, it got cut out. But yeah, because it's not necessary.
Film ki zarurat nahi hai.
Yeah, it was not necessary. It's more of a hand-to-hand jiu-jitsu, and more of a combat-oriented, rather than just trying to, look fancy.
I was just thinking about how when you came on the scene with Gully Boy, it's so strange.
Yeah.
As much as Ranveer was amazing, there was space for you. And I think that is amazing, right? Because as a good role, as a good part, as a good actor, you got the love that you deserved.
Yeah.
We're sitting in a time where you're sharing screen space with someone who's really doing well at this point, and that's Raghav.
Yeah.
Well, is there any sort of advice that you give him? Because, hey man, here are two boys who've kind of waited in the wings, come from literally nowhere, and at the same level, I have seen a similar sort of trajectory. What's that equation like?
Okay, I'll tell you a story with Raghav. So when I was aspiring to be an actor, काम तो मिल नहीं रहा था मुझे. So I used to dance as well, and DID आया था तब नया. So जब काम नहीं मिला था, I got so excited that I was like, यार, I have to do something. अभी क्या करूँ? Acting में काम नहीं मिल रहा है, dance ही कर लेता हूँ. So I practiced. I used to go on my terrace, just put some dubstep music and do all of that on my terrace. And that was the first season where Raghav, Dharmesh, sir, they all were there. and I was just blown away with this guy. I was obsessed with Raghav, and nobody knows this story, but I was obsessed with him. His slow motion walk. In fact, I won Fresh Face imitating his slow motion walk. And there's a video out there. Yeah, I was also into locking, popping, and his style was very different. Cockroach.
Yeah.
क्या था? Croc and rock.
Cockroach.
Something. Yeah. And he was crazy, and I just was mind blown by his style. So I used to follow him a lot that time, and I was like, yeah, this guy is bringing something so crazy, like dance wise. Earlier I had seen it on YouTube, but nothing like what he does. So I almost felt like, yeah, I need to go DID, I need to audition, but somehow I was not. I mean, I got my first ad, and also I was like, okay, let's wait, for this. And also there were far better dancers than I was that time. So I let it go. And then Raghav, I have seen his journey grow from a dancer to a TV host, and now as an actor. Like he was so good in Kill. And I've also seen his earlier films. And he's a delight to work with. And I was like really like amazed by the way he kind of got into the character. I've never seen him like that, but he was too good. And my dream was to do this slow motion walk with him. So we did that. When we were shooting in Portugal, I tried doing that, try to match his steps, but obviously it's his IP. He is the OG.
He's the OG. Yeah. Well, thank you for that. It's always exciting to sit down with you, Siddhant, because every time I meet you, you're just up to something which is different, promises to be different, and not really something we've seen you do before. And I think that is one of your greatest qualities. Yeah. So with Yudhra, I think that what you need right now is a lot of good wishes and good luck.
Yes.
And that's what I'm here to give you. Thank you so much for speaking to me. It's always a pleasure.
Same here.
Thanks.
Always a pleasure. Hey guys, hi, this is Siddhant Chaturvedi, और अभी रोटॉक से इतनी सारी बातें हुई हैं मेरी फिल्म युद्रा के बारे में. बहुत जल्द आ रही है 20 सितंबर को आपके नजदीकी थिएटर हॉल्स में. थैंक यू.